Namaskar. It's 11 o'clock and showtime. So, in the series of 21 days, today we are meeting in the morning. A warm welcome to all of you. And yesterday we have already discussed the WHO definition of health. And related to that, it's mental, physical, social, all types of health. And absence of disease doesn't mean health, but it should be at the optimum level and your mental state should be good. Looking into all this, I today thought about interviewing a person whose speciality lies in something whereby many a times our mental health is disturbed if that particular area is not catered to. So, hello, I'm Mrs. Manjusha Kelkar, a passionate teacher at heart and counselor by profession, founder of a platform named Breakthrough Higher Education. I'm passionate about guiding students in their medical journey. Next in the series, after interviewing Dr. Major Ashlesha Taude, Dr. Aditi, Dr. Shubha, and Dr. Bruce Silver, next in line, I'm going to interview a personality who is having specialization in such a branch which was not very popular in those days. But today, it is the most sought after specialty in medicine. I am honored to share the stage with Dr. Smita Chakote, who is a cosmeto-dermatologist. So, without further delay, I'd call it. Namaste, doctor.
Namaste, doctor.
Namaste.
So, how is everything?
How is everything?
Perfect. All beautiful. All good.
Great.
Great.
So, am I audible properly?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So, we have already started getting comments. And Kirti ma'am is here. So many of your fan following I'm expecting today on this platform. So great. So, doctor, tell me about your journey. So someone is saying it's an echo. So two devices at a time operating somewhere. People are saying it's an echo.
Do you want me to wear a earplug?
I don't know, doctor.
Yes. Let me just give me just a second's time, and I'll wear a earplug.
Sure.
So there won't be an echo. Yes.
Yeah. Now I think the echo is resolved. Please, viewers, someone tell me the echo is resolved. Okay, great. So tell me something about your childhood. Where were you when you were a small kid? And how was your upbringing like? Because I think you are 6 brothers and sisters. So tell me something about that. It will be very interesting to understand.
Yes. I was the youngest of the 6th sibling. So you can know, I was an apple pie of the family.
Great. Yeah.
And it was, my parents were the pre-freedom era people. And my father used to wear dhoti, Nehru shirt and Gandhi topi. And my mother was a typical traditional woman of, the king's daughter kind of personality. But both were very interested in education. And
Okay.
to be surprised, during those days also, their main criteria was all my daughters should be educated. So we were, I'm very privileged to say that I had such parents who never differentiated between a girl and a boy. One. Second, education was really given the prime importance in our family. So these were the two things, and this is how I grew as an apple pie in the family.
Great, doctor. So, tracking your journey, now you are in 12th standard. We are just going back. You are in 12th standard, and now you have been admitted to a medical college. right?
Yes.
Because it's very interesting to understand how people fall into, or how people take a certain type of a career, the whys. Sometimes we try to define whys of our lives. And very interestingly, both of us met on a platform called Mission Online Swaraj. So I think we never knew each other, but then maybe our whys coincided, and right now we are here. So now you are in 12th standard, and you are studying medicine, right? So we will track the journey as well. I would like to understand why medicine.
Yes. As I told you, I was the sixth sibling. I had just one brother. All of us were five sisters. And my brother thought I was an intellectual kid in the platform. And he always, in those days, there were two professions which were very importantly considered. One was medicine, and second was engineering. And they thought I'm very intelligent and they wanted me to do medicine. And my father
Hmm.
also supported my brother. So both these men in our family wanted me to continue pursue with medicine. And
Okay.
unfortunately, in my 10th standard, just around 20 days prior to my 10th exam, I lost my brother in car accident on
Oh.
Mahashivratri. And then it was actually, I pursued his dream and my father's dream. So more
Hmm.
than me pursuing my own enjoyable life, I was a very easy go person. I pursued their dream and I fulfilled their dream.
Great, great, doctor. So now this span of time, whereby a girl in 12th standard enters a medical college, and a woman of now, which we are seeing, who is having x number of things under her belt. If I read some of them, I am just lost in the huge achievement of yours. Some of them being, you have a clinic, you have a, means, I just wanted to highlight it, but it would be better if I listen it from your own mouth. But yes, you are a gold medalist when you were studying, and then you have written two books as well. Then you are a successful doctor, you are a HOD, you are a professor, you have a special interest in body shaping, weight reduction, and what not. We would like to track the journey from a 12th standard girl to right now. So in the eventually, if you want to share some more instances which I have not covered, please do that, doctor. Now, yes, you were admitted into a medical college, and then you finished your studies. And as you said, that you are a happy-go-lucky person per se, and you were having jitters about not sitting into your final year exams, and still your father said that no, no, you have to sit for the exam, come what may. You sat for your MBBS final year exam, you got good marks, and then you were during your internship, what I call, yesterday when we were sharing our thought, I said that doctor is also witness to a candlelight delivery. So just tell me about that incident.
Yes, I actually took a transfer to Bijapur, though I studied in Belgaum. When I joined Bijapur as an intern, we didn't never had any postgraduate students. So we only had the professors and the lecturers, and directly we were the people who were working in the platform. And it was so, with one of my friend, I was posted in Guyana posting, and we were conducting delivery of a lady, and suddenly the lights went off, and
Oh.
somehow in the can we managed to get some candles, and those days there were no mobiles also. We managed to get some candles from nearby canteen. We put four candles and we delivered the baby, bundle of joy. So we were
Oh.
very thrilled and happy. But the next minute, as soon as the placenta was removed, the gush of blood, like a bucket of blood, started pouring, and we both went into panic situation because we didn't know how to handle such a situation in life. And it
Yeah.
was really difficult for us. We were
Hmm.
trying to take all the gauze pieces and crush into that vagina, and then try to stop the blood flow frantically. One of the sisters, we made a run to the medical officer near my house and call her. So these were some kind of very thrilling incidences which I faced in my internship.
Oh, great, great. So that must have helped you a lot to mold you as a person what you are today, because this instances or this incidences throw a light, or the subconscious comes out. We never knew that we had so much of strength. Was that some sort of a feeling at that particular time,
Yes,
both of you?
I know, because we were literally praying, Superior God, help us to see through it, this situation, because
True,
we are totally
true.
novice. See,
Yeah.
we didn't, we have never, faced such a kind of situation.
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
So
hmm,
it
hmm.
was, and the more thing was accepting the responsibility as a consultant
True.
at that situation, at that
Yes.
tender age, wasn't very easy for us.
Yeah, and it must have taken a lot of mental strength to do that. So, doctor, what we see you today, somewhere the seeds lie in those days, whereby from a happy-go-lucky girl has been now transformed into an accountable and responsible person, because she knows that people's lives are in her hands. And then after that, doctor, what are the skills which you feel, because after this instance I just thought that, okay, then what must be a skill which makes you a good doctor, or which doesn't frustrate you after you become a doctor, because I've seen people who study MBBS and after that they get frustrated. So what are the skill sets according to you?
One is, most thing is, you should love people. When you love people, and when you want to share something with them, or when you want to
Hmm,
share empathy with them, when you
hmm,
want to
hmm, hmm,
help them, that is the only point, I think so, which keeps as a doctor going, because this is
hmm, hmm.
one platform where people keep coming to you with problems.
True.
And if you don't have that soft ear to listen to somebody, I
Hmm.
don't then you'll get frustrated. But if
True.
you enjoy listening to them, understanding their story, and helping them out through the situation, that is the greatest thing. So that is the
Hmm,
first thing
hmm,
you should have is loving people. You should have empathy. And
hmm,
second
hmm.
thing you need to have is you should have that delving history, to get into their life. And
True.
the most important thing you need to have is that trust, to build that trust. Imagine somebody surrendering their body,
Hmm,
because I mean that always, every time I feel odd at this stage of my life, also I feel, my God, somebody is trusting me so much that they're
hmm.
surrendering the whole body to me. And that is
True, true.
magnificent. Whenever I
Hmm.
think about it, I feel, my God, give me the best possible knowledge, give me the best possible, courageous things to, help them out.
True, 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 true. Very true. Very, very rightly said, doctor. Because that's the most important thing in whatever faculty you have taken in medicine. To every faculty, this is the utmost thing. Because people out there sometimes feel that, oh, if you are taking psychiatry, then only these aspects of yours are needed, or they are most needed. But it's not so. It's needed in every aspect of your life. So, doctor, you are gone out. Yeah. So
Hello.
yeah, hello, yeah.
Yeah.
So how would you describe, or would you like to describe any incidents, or how does a doctor react under pressure, any situation where you were under pressure? Hello, hello.
Am I
Yeah,
audible? Am I
yeah, yeah,
audible?
you are audible, you are audible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hmm,
yeah. Your
yeah.
question was under the stress.
Under pressure, yeah.
Basically, under pressure, I think so. Doctors shine like diamonds, I would say. It is the pressure which gets the best out of you. Whether it is professional, whether it is personal, whether it is financial, any kind of pressure actually brings out what you are originally. So I believe that is the inner strength in life, and the way you are being brought up. My father always said, never run after money, let the money run after you. And
True.
always have such a kind of strong personality that people should fall in love with you. I think so these
Hmm,
were the greatest strength for me to face
hmm,
any
hmm, hmm.
crisis in my life, whether it is
True.
professional or anything.
Yeah. So now going back, doctor, you did your internship and now you were trying to do your post graduation. And now, why this specific faculty? What attracted you towards this and how you got it? Because back then,
So
if I remember correctly, back then dermatology branch was not there, that evolved. People were not taking that branch. So, what was the scene that time, and why only this particular specific branch? Do you remember any instance when you decided, oh, I want to go for that?
yes, those days there were only two things skin was recognized for. One is for leprosy and second is for HIV. Because
Hmm.
HIV was an upswing, like how COVID is an upswing now, then
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
HIV was an upswing. And somehow I had seen this Amitabh Bachchan's, Miss World, which was being conducted in Bangalore, I remember. And I
Hmm. Hmm.
always had a deep gut intuition that beauty and dermatology is going to have something hand in hand, and this is
Hmm. Hmm.
one profession which is going to be the best rocking tomorrow. So I
Okay.
always had that deep intuition, and that's why I wanted to join skin. I
Hmm.
actually
Hmm. Hmm.
got MD Gynec, but I refused it because as I told you, I'm a very happy-go-lucky person. I love life beautifully. I love music. I love many things in life. So I
Hmm.
can't
Hmm.
be
Hmm.
only a thorough professional, and 24 by 7, no. Because
Hmm. Hmm.
apart from my profession, I think life is the most beautiful thing. And as a human being, as a human journey, we should have everything in our life. We should be able to take care of our parents, of our children, of our family life, and of our own personal me time as well. So
Yeah.
thinking all these things, I had very strong decision made during my internship itself that I would like to join skin. Though many
Hmm.
teachers deteriorated me saying that don't join skin, you will never have a good name because
Hmm.
psoriasis, such lichen planus and such
Hmm.
diseases
Hmm.
will never, no patient is ever going to say you, Ma, you have done a good job or is not going to come and touch your feet. But
Hmm.
I somehow disagreed with it. I always
Hmm.
believe that, beauty and skin is going to have a great platform and that my
Hmm.
intuition came true. And that's
Hmm.
how I took up dermatology.
Okay, great. So, after I think 1 year of gap, you ultimately landed with your dermat specialty. And then, Doctor, while you were pursuing your PG, at your age, etc., parents tend to marry off their kids, especially girl child. So, when did marriage happen?
That was in my final year MD. I mean, when I
Oh,
was doing
so
my
when,
thesis, when
yeah,
I was,
so
worked up with my studies.
nowadays, girls won't believe that people are getting married so early. They'll say, no, no, first I'll finish my studies. Okay, then, so you are married and you were doing two things or three things parallelly. And when did your kid happen?
That was around 2 years later after my marriage,
Okay. And which
and
year
it was
was
an
this
arranged
around?
marriage.
Around? Yeah. So,
Pardon?
which year was this?
It was in 1996. I got
Around.
95. I got married, and 98
Okay.
my daughter was born.
Great, great, great. So we are talking about pre 2000 era, whereby your kid was born and you got married, and then you were parallelly trying to achieve something at your professional life also. Means you were a good student. You have done your dermatology very nicely. Tell me about the incidents where you went for a paper presentation during your PG days.
Yes, it was in my final year when I went for. I used to do many paper presentations. It was in the
Okay.
first year when I went for my paper presentation. I did not even know how to utter, some words in dermatology, and then I presented my paper, and as soon as I got down from the stage, the father of dermatology, one of the Manipal HOD came around and said, Doc, you look like you've just joined. Then I told him, Sir, I'm infant in dermatology still because I was just 2 months old in that field. And but my professor had so much trust in me that I had wonderful communication skill and I could present. And I dreamt that day, I dreamt that with this father of dermatology, one day I'm going to share a stage. And that visualization came true after 5 years of my MD. And I shared my stage in the international conference with this father of dermatology.
Hmm,
So it is nice.
It's nice. It's nice. So that's the power of visualization, which you had been doing for past so many years, I think, because when you are young, at that particular point of time, also you dreamt of that to share a stage with such a personality. So that shows your strength of character, your willpower also. So moving forward, Doc. You now, how and why did you set up your private practice, and how it is about setting a practice in your field? Hello? Hello?
It is not a cakewalk practice for doctors. Yes,
Yeah,
can you hear me?
yeah, you are
It's
audible.
not a cakewalk for doctors to have a practice. It is a really difficult work. So to manage everything, I joined a medical college. There were the two things. One is I'm very passionate teacher. I love teaching. I love young people. I always like to stay with youngsters. You know, when you stay with youngsters, life is very bubbly and lively. So teaching and staying with youngster was one passion for me, which made me join a medical college. And the other thing was I wanted to make a different level name. I always visualize myself at national level, international level, you know, having a great name. So that visualization I wanted to do practice also. So I began with my practice. But these two things doesn't suffice. See, when you begin your practice, suddenly when you open a clinic, you know, you have some finances, like you have to pay the rent, you have to pay to your receptionist, you have to pay your light bill, you have to pay your phone bill. So you have to literally calculate. I remember my beginning days when I started my practice, I calculated I at least need to have 2 patients per day, means 400 rupees per day. Only then I can sail through without asking anybody. So this is how a doctor job is. And normally people, you know, or we always see, you know, highest post people. You see the, you know, the very famous cosmetic dermatologist. Now, when children see me, they think, oh, Dr. Sakwati madam, my, she moves in car, she has a good practice, she is a professor, she has earning from YouTube, she has earning from so many sources. But when I began, see, everybody has to begin from a scratch. So that is
Yes.
one thing. As a doctor, you should know that it is not a cakewalk. That's my first lesson, which I would like to give to all the youngsters. That's one. Second thing is you still have to promote yourself. See, nowadays there is social media. During my days, we never had social media. So I remember going to colleges to give a talk. So the talk used to be, what cosmetics should you use? How should you look beautiful? You know, that's how. So it was like creating an awareness of beauty. And those days, people also told me, is she a doctor or does she run a parlor? So I have received such comments from doctors as well. And when I was trying to promote that, I want beauty to be known in the right way. So, you know, you are rather using anything over the counter. So use the right product, spend the money on the right product to look, have the best skin. So that was all the things. So I always took an opportunity to talk to various colleges, and that's how my first book came up. No more about your skin, look young forever, just was for the public. So this is how you'll
Okay.
have to start your practice.
Great, 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 great. And from this sharing, I would like to ask you about your specialty, because you know we know that people are dermatologists, but we don't know that people are cosmetodermatologists. What exactly is the difference between the two, and how you landed up doing this particular specialty, and how you came to be known as cosmetodermatologist?
Yes, basically our degree is MD Skin, STD and Leprosy. So that's how our degree is granted to us. So wherein we have to study skin, we have to study about sexually transmitted disease, we have to study about leprosy. And leprosy is a national eradication program. So it is very, very important as a dermatologist to know. Now, when I was doing my MD, there was these my teachers rather than not my local teachers, the national level teachers. They were learning. They were also surfing with new subjects like dermatosurgery, cosmetic dermatology, pediatric dermatology. So these were upcoming branches, and everybody was creating their own niche in their own field. And I was very much interested. Like I told you, my vision was I began with my end in my life. I always thought beauty and dermatology will join together. So I always
Yeah.
began with the end in my mind. So for me,
Hmm.
beauty and dermatology, I had to reach there. But my own
Hmm.
teachers were pure dermatologists. They were,
Yeah.
teaching me pure skin subjects. But
Hmm.
nobody was ready to teach me these subjects. So I used to call up to Nanavati Hospital, Dr. Satish Sawant sir, Dr. Rekha Seth in Mumbai, who's the cosmetic, who is in cosmetic dermatology. So I used to call them up and ask them, what can I do? How can I learn? Then I used to buy small acids. Then I used to do all these things. And whenever I attended any workshops for postgraduates, I used to be very enthusiastic to assist. So I remember when I first time I assisted Dr. Satish Sawant, sir, who is a dermatosurgeon, who is called as a father of dermatosurgery in India. When I was
Hmm.
assisting him, I was shivering. I couldn't
Hmm.
hold the things properly. But then this is how your journey begins. And then he taught me how to, resurface the skin using an apple, using an orange. So you need to have
Hmm.
a passion basically. See, until you are
True, true,
passionate, you
true.
cannot learn.
True,
That
true,
passion
true.
will take you a very long way.
True, true, true. Very true. And there was my perception, doctor. There is rather my perception that who treats burn patients? Is it a dermatologist or a surgeon? How skin grafting is done still in this age? Also, who is doing that?
Burns, this thing section is still kept under surgery
Okay.
because primarily they have burn centers which is run by surgeons and also intensivists. So they have special burn centers and skin grafting since it's a huge surgery. So it's done under
Okay.
general anesthesia. So primarily it is the surgeon who plays a role. We only play a role when it comes to small surgery because we are not
Okay.
used to a major general anesthesia kind of a huge surgeries.
Okay, okay, great, 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 great. Okay, doctor, parallelly, as a doctor, we are doing many things professionally. What was going on in your personal life? Parallelly, when you were achieving so much, you were running your own clinic, you had a kid, and personally, what was there in your life?
My personal life wasn't really good. It was through great turmoil. So with differences of ideologies and everything, I one day decided that we should separate, and
Okay.
that's how I had to take a decision after 14 years of my married life, which was a very difficult decision. And my daughter was also too young; she was in her third standard. But then that decision had to be taken, and as I look back, it was a wonderful decision which I have taken for myself and for my child, and maybe for the counterpart as well, because life ultimately has to be lived peacefully.
And society at large, because then we would not have known Dr. Smita as we knew her today, or as we are knowing her today. Maybe whatever happens, happens for good. Because I know why I'm speaking that, because you are spiritually grounded person. So when one is spiritually grounded, we see the things in different perspective, or new perspectives keep on opening up with whatever instances have happened in your life. So now, doctor, you relocated after this personal trauma thing. You relocated, and you have risen like a phoenix bird, from ashes again to riches. That's what I think I would say about your journey. So what happened? You moved in with your mother, and you relocated, meaning you changed your places also,
Yes.
geographically also. Okay.
Everything. I just came along with a bag of clothes and my certificates. That's all. My whole setup, none of my instruments, nothing came with me. So it was like, came back to zero. One, I had a government job which I had to leave. I had a successful practice which I had to leave. I had legal situations to, handle, and I had no finances for 1 year. All
Okay.
I had was a very strong mother to support me,
See,
and
look,
my
doc, my
sisters.
mother is watching.
uh,
Mother and mothers are there.
Yes, I had a very
Okay, great.
strong
Yeah.
mother who said, I will support you under these circumstances. And as you know, in India, I mean, it isn't easy for a woman, however highly educated you are, it's always that the filth is always thrown on a white cloth, and women is always a counterpart taker in this situation,
Yeah.
however progressive we are in this universe. So
True.
it took
Very
me
true.
1 year to, ground myself spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
All I did was meditated for 1 year, did nothing, no income, no source, no profession. Just dropped my daughters to school and came back and taught her and meditated. That's it I did. And then slowly I became internally very strong. And Shailaja is saying, thank you, Shailaja.
Yeah.
And then my mother said, it's high time now, you are losing the track of life, you better get into college. And I went
Mm-hmm.
to VM Government Medical College for a job, and literally my mother said, kutli job asne, whichever job, you just take it, even if it is free of
Mm-hmm.
cost, you just go and work. And I literally went for the honorary post, which was going to give me pay of 1,500. So imagine
Oh.
a person earning 2 lakh coming to zero, no earning for 1 year, and then my job starts with 1,500 rupees per month. But I was
Mm-hmm.
lucky enough, I got a job of 15,000, which was a temporary job, and it used to be, every 3 months I used to get my order. So that's how I
Yeah.
began my job.
Great,
But
great,
that
great,
taught me
great, great.
great humility, and that taught me the great humbleness, and that taught me something much more. I will tell you,
Hmm.
that taught me to be humane at every minute.
Yeah. At every moment of time, you must remember that. Great learning, doctor, and great sharing also. Then you again re-established your clinic. How was that journey of yours? Because why I want to highlight this point is because out there many students keep on listening to this particular interview thing, and everyone thinks that, oh, as you told earlier also, that, oh, it's a cakewalk, means I am a doctor and now that's all, that's it, and now everything is done for. But it's not so. So how would you describe your journey? And now I would like to understand your social perspective. You started many free things. You treated many people in government hospitals when you were teaching there or you were associated with them. I would like to understand your social aspect.
Yes, this incident actually, taught to me that life is nothing. I mean, life is very futile. It's
Hmm.
best whatever you have, just give it and go away. Today or tomorrow I'm going to go away. There was one point of a time when I wanted to commit suicide. So otherwise
Hmm.
also I
Hmm.
would have died with my knowledge inside, no? So
Hmm.
I began
Hmm.
to, whatever
Hmm.
knowledge I had, I started doing all those procedures in government hospital. Like,
Okay.
whatever little bit instruments, whatever knowledge I had, I again
Hmm.
began from zero.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Hmm.
didn't have my practice, but at least let
Hmm.
me said, okay, let me give it to people. People will know
Hmm.
me. See, when you
Hmm. Hmm.
show what you are, or when you give the
Hmm.
best possible results, that,
Hmm.
khushbu, the
Hmm.
smell, the aroma always goes about in the society. And that's how I
True.
believe, stay like an aroma, stay like
Hmm.
that beautiful flower, that
Hmm.
people will start smelling it. Yes, she has something in her. And that's
Hmm.
how I started working on. Then we conducted a conference and we collected some money which remained with me. And I
Okay.
was so fortunate because I was so grounded. Most of the dermatologists, trusted me a lot. And they said,
Hmm.
Madam, you are going to be the chairperson. So even till date, I am the chairperson. They never changed me from that profile. So I saved that money. And that
Hmm.
money, along with some, I conducted some motivational classes, enriched life classes, and that's how I collected 3 lakh fund, and we created a OT in our government hospital. So I
Oh.
believe that to make beautiful is my passion, and that
Hmm.
passion is undying. That's
Hmm.
how
Hmm.
I continue. So
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
helped me to create a big name, which helped me in my practice also. And then
True.
my
Very true.
continuous journey of giving talks to various colleges continued again.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
And one of
Doctor,
such
I
moment
have.
was
Yeah, please continue.
One such moment was wherein a girl of femme figures, her whole skin was peeled away, burnt away, and I was doing a fabulous job at one-fourth cost. See, normally the pemphigus
Okay, yeah.
drugs, that whole cost is 2.5 lakh, but I'm doing the treatment at one-fourth cost. So this was a girl who wanted to commit suicide because of her disease, and because the cost was so high, and she came from a middle class family. So she
Yeah.
came to us and we did her treatment, and she really changed totally. And then during her brother's marriage, she dressed up and she got a proposal. And then the journey from suicide to marriage happened. And this girl, one day when I was taking a class for my final year student, suddenly came and touched my feet. And when she came and touched my feet, my students were taken aback. And then I shared the journey with them. And one of my student by name Vishal Jha, he motivated me saying that you have to start your YouTube journey, madam. You have to give your knowledge. So this is how my social perspective of giving knowledge and YouTube sharing began. And I'm so proud that I have more than 3,000 subscribers. I have more than 180 videos, and I have pemphigus patients from all over the world now. From Morocco, from Australia, from New Zealand, from so many places, from India, Jharkhand, some places which are not reachable also, people come and call me and I help them. And I love that.
True. So I just remember when we were talking that one fine day your teachers told you that don't take Dermat because people are not coming and touching your feet, but this happened. So that's the power of willpower and your subconscious that ऐसे कैसे नहीं होता है, इसमें भी हो सकता है. Okay, doctor. So I would like to know more about this special disease which you had recently talked about, and you are very passionate about, and you have opened a YouTube channel, and you are into the digital space so that you could reach out to these type of patients who have no one to go per se, and they are sometimes outcasted from the society because skin is everything. That's what looks up, and that's what people see. And see, nobody is going to come to you and say, oh, inside you are a very good person, but your skin is this. Nobody's going to say that, because first the foremost thing what people see is our skin. So what is, tell us something about this disease per se, and what it takes to cure it. And is it curable? Because again, there is a myth. So is it curable, and at what stage maybe?
This is basically an autoimmune disease. It is not curable. It can be controlled. See, a person can lead a quality life. See, the perspective of our life is to lead something qualitatively.
True.
See, we cannot stop certain diseases, but you can still live a nice life. See, a person who is diabetic, he is lifelong diabetic. Same way.
True.
This pemphigus vulgaris is also same. And basically, I live in two different worlds. See, one world is the world of cosmetic dermatology.
That's what I was just trying to. That's what I was just trying to put forth. Two sides of the same coin. One person, Dr. Smita, one times goes and tells people, oh, do this peel off and you'll look beautiful. And at the next moment, next juncture, she is with another type of a patient who simply wants to live the life with this particular disease. Yes, doctor, continue.
So it's like I'm living in two worlds. One is the cosmetic world where one single scar also puts a panic. And there is other world where people don't have skin. They can't wear clothes. They can't eat. They can't, talk to anybody. They are into the verge of going to depression, suicidal attempts, and all those things. So it is two totally different world. But I believe that every human being on this earth has a right to look beautiful. I believe basic human life is the most beautiful journey. So I have that deep desire in me that I want to make these people look beautiful. It is like 360-degree makeover. What a life-changing situation. See, when that girl story I told you, she has no skin, she wants to commit suicide, she's into depression, she'll never think about marriage also. But then from that, I gave her that treatment, and her skin improved, and I gave her that hope. I gave her the faith that she's going to look nice. And then I also gave her the faith that she'll get married. She has the right to live a beautiful life waiting for her. A young 23-year-old girl, she has to live another 50-60 years. She wants to live life. And I gave her that beauty inside out. So this only can happen when you're spiritually grounded. This only happens when you're crushed And this crushing was necessary for me because that gave me a different insight to beauty. I'm not a commercial cosmetic dermatologist. I'm a spiritual cosmetic dermatologist. That's what my colleagues say to me.
Great. So
And this
I would
treatment
like
can
to
be given.
understand, yeah. So I would like to understand the four aspect in which you deal with beauty, because I have listened to one of your talks whereby you say that one, two, three, four are the areas whereby you have to look beautiful, and you use the term inside out. So please explain.
I have begun from the time, actually, I have been working passionately on beauty, but the name was not given. So
Mm-hmm.
when I came into online Swarajya with Mr. Ketan Gawan, the name was given to it. That is called as Mission Beauty Sundarmi Honarats. So then I
Great.
came up with a workshop called as Ageless
Mm-hmm.
Beauty Workshop, which works on four platforms. One is
Mm-hmm.
you need to take care of the skin.
Mm-hmm.
Second is you need to take care of your health.
Mm-hmm.
Third is you need to take care of your emotion, that is heart.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth is you need to take care of your mind, how you
Mm-hmm.
think. And last is you need to take care of your soul because you're
Mm-hmm.
evolving as a soul. So only
Yeah.
when you have these platform, I think you will look immaculately beautiful at all levels. So beauty will be not only skin deep, it will be soul deep.
Soul deep. So, how to cater to soul in depression? People go into depression because of beauty, because of the external facet of our lives. So, how to go soul deep? One tip, doctor.
One tip is just go silent.
Yeah.
Looking inside you, some answer will
Mhm,
always pop up. And that is the
mhm.
special, unique, tailor made answer for you.
Yes. So, nobody can coach you for that. It has to come from inside. That's what I feel, that nobody can coach you. People can tell you that this was my experience, but that thing you have to experience, that what's that special thing for me. So it somebody cannot customize it for you. You have to do your own soul searching and find out that answer, that what my soul requires. So anything else, doctor, you would like to add to your juniors, especially who may see you as a role model? Because my next question will be, who is your role model?
My role model are in dermatology. I have Dr. Satish Sawant. I have Dr. Rekha Seth. And when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to spiritual this thing, Mother Teresa. And then when it comes to film line, I have Rekha. So I have many role models. I'm a combination of everything. Like from glamour to spirituality, I need everybody. I know I keep all these at platform. And Louis Hay, not to forget, a woman who taught me how to just love this life.
Yeah, and love yourself. That's your motto. I love myself. I think you ask people to repeat that.
Yes.
I love myself, and it's a beautiful feeling when people repeat that to themselves. Because many a times people have not even seen them and for quite some time, and then when they repeat this, yes, it's a transformational journey for them also. So you are working at soul level as well as skin level, and all the four levels you are addressing. And we talked about your personal role models also, and I believe that yes, everyone should have their role models in every area of their lives, and then only we have a holistic development, because we just cannot focus on a single path in our lives, because then it will be more dominant, and then maybe it will crush you. There will be no work life balance. Now what, if I may say, what or who is your motivator?
I myself.
So you are self motivated. You are a self motivated person, and we have seen that since your 12th standard journey, that you are a self motivator and you won't butt down with anything and whatever thing people out there are saying. What are the traits of a successful doctor, and how do you define success?
Success for me is a complete personality. There's a beautiful sentence which I always quote in every of my talks. It is the beauty which pleases your pleases your eyes, but it is the personality that wins your heart. So you should have such a kind of personality that you should win hearts.
Hmm.
You should be able, even if you're gone away. Suppose if I exit away from this universe, I'm very sure that I'm going to stay in so many hearts. because I have given so many wonderful romantic moments to all the beautiful damsels who take care of your beautiful skin. I have given some wonderful life saving moments to my patients. I have given some wonderful lessons to my students. I am always a happy go and fun person with my friends. I'm very fun loving with my daughter. So it's a personality. That's how I would say. And the traits of a successful doctor is basically you should love reading, because
Hmm.
medical field is you need to read a lot. So one thing,
Yes.
you should be passionate about reading, because as you
Hmm.
study medicine, you have to read a lot. That is the first
Hmm.
thing.
Hmm.
Second thing, you should be a very good listener.
Hmm.
Should be compassionate. You should have
Hmm.
that feeling of compassion towards your, fellow being who have come with a problem. So you should be a wonderful listener. Second.
Hmm.
Third thing, because you have good knowledge, you can diagnose. See what you can see and what you can perceive, only then you can diagnose a person. So you should have a collaboration of a vision to look at a patient, and then you will be able to diagnose yourself better. That's a third
Hmm.
thing. Fourth
Yeah.
thing is, my teacher said, if you're not updated, you are outdated. So
Yeah.
keep
Very
updated.
true. Hmm.
Every situation, every day you have to learn something. So today
Hmm.
also, there are situations when I cannot diagnose, I fail to diagnose. So this is very important, a constant learning and
Hmm.
empathy. So if you
Yeah.
have all these qualities, I think
Hmm.
money will
Hmm.
just follow in. If you
Hmm.
have these qualities, you will be a good doctor. I wouldn't measure myself as success. I would say
Hmm.
I just want to be a good human being. I want to be a good doctor. That's it.
Great. Great. We will see some comments. Yes. So these are the comments for you, Doc. Role model, amazing. Khub chan. So that's so true. So she says, I love you. Great
Thank you.
comments
I love
coming
you.
your way, Doctor. So actually, you're blessed, and I truly believe that there is some supreme power behind your functioning. Uh, yes, Doctor. Coming back to our point, you love being a dermatologist or being a doctor. Is there any aspect which you dislike?
The most difficult part which I find in my practice is, to open up a news of death or near death experience to their loved ones, which is very difficult, I find, to communicate, even it. Second thing,
Mm-hmm.
what I find very difficult is when people give real, wrong comments during this COVID era also, when most of the doctors are really trying their level best. When people talk
Mm-hmm.
sick about a profession, it really
Mm-hmm.
pains and aches me in the heart. I just want to tell the society, can you live without a doctor? Simple question to the complete society. Just tell me, can you live without a doctor?
Mm-hmm. No, the answer would always be no.
Huh. So if that is no, then please, try to understand us. That's the whole thing. Because I see my children working day and night. See, there are always some black fishes everywhere. But that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that the 95 people who are the real workers should be crushed.
Mm-hmm.
Their moral needs to be built up. Appreciation is one thing, one single word which everybody expects in life.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great. 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 Now, Doctor, what are your personal goals and objectives? Means personal meaning professional person, everything combined. What are your goals and objectives?
One thing is, I want to real my daughter, the best thing to be given. I'm working on my Medispa center, so I
Mm-hmm.
want her to really do well in this particular field of beauty, which is going to be a continuing legacy of beauty with passion. So that is one
Mm-hmm.
dream which I have as a single mother, which every mother
Mm-hmm.
has. The second thing
Mm-hmm.
is, as I have started with the Mission Beauty Sundarmi Honarats, I want
Mm-hmm.
in next 3 years to make 1 lakh women beautiful. So if I can
Mm-hmm.
reach women, as many number of women, to just make them beautiful, then
Mm-hmm.
I would like the women to request, please send me 1 minute video of yours as what beauty means to you. See, beauty is
Mm-hmm.
normally given by page 3 or by a news or by a film. But I want to know actually what women think about beauty. I've been uploading these videos of all the women who talk about beauty. I think so. I have uploaded around 300 videos. I want 5,000 videos. I want 5,000 women to really talk what beauty means to them. Because
True.
let's bring the truth of beauty to the world, not the false image. Because
Yeah.
according to me, as much as women have spoken, they say beauty is, you know, how your personality is, beauty is how you feel, beauty is your confidence, beauty is your service. So many perspectives of beauty are coming up, unfolding to me, and I'm enjoying it. And the next is, I want to treat as many Pemphigus vulgaris patient. I always say, I have an affirmation. I'm in the divine circle to treat Pemphigus vulgaris patient with the single dose of rituximab. They are all healed and they're leading a healthy, happy life. And I want that 360-degree change happening in this Pemphigus vulgaris patients. So I believe that I'm depositing karma through this particular Pemphigus vulgaris cases. So I believe that the purpose of life is God is making me an instrument to serve these people. So whenever such patient comes to me, I believe God is coming in disguise. I remember Mother Teresa's sentence. She says, God comes in different disguises. You should know to serve him.
Yeah.
So this sentence is so carved in my mind that I always believe whenever a Pemphigus patient comes, so ugly looking and so pathetically smelling, and everybody wants to shun them, but I want to really serve them. I clean them. I always give them a nice, you know, skin, and I always make it a point to what you say, you know, as a custom, you know, आपण आहेर करून पाठवतो. I always give them a sari or a new cloth and I send them, and it is a beautiful thing to watch that.
Wow, wow, wow. And that's the reason why people out there love you so much, Doctor. You had been to many international conferences with your undyed hair. What happened to one of the conferences, Doc?
Yes, when I stood on my international cosmetology conference, where my hairs were, you know, half white and half black, and then people commented on me saying that she even doesn't know how to dye her hair, and imagine she is trying to teach people what is cosmetic dermatology. She is conducting workshops on cosmetic dermatology. She's teaching people, but on the other hand, there were few international delegates from US and from Nepal and from different places, from Malaysia. They said, Doc, you know, we salute you because you project what you are. You are truth. You know, you
Yes.
project like Mahatma Gandhi to us. You know, you whatever you speak, you are walk the talk person, and you would like to have your autograph and photograph. So you have different kind of perspective people coming into you. So just be
Yeah.
yourself.
Be yourself.
People
So
who have
that's
to
the
fall in
message,
love will
Doctor.
fall in love.
Exactly. That's the biggest message we can give today. That be yourself. That's all. But so, Doc, where do you see yourself 10 years down the line? That would be my parting question for today.
10 years down the lane, I will be serving people left and right. You know, because by then I would have finished my financial, you know, what you can say, responsibilities of my life. And then I don't mind doing any treatment to anybody free of cost. That's it. So it's
Because
like, you know,
ultimately you are
Smita is a
using that
pioneer
money.
of beauty.
Yeah. No, and ultimately you are using that money for for the benefit of society. But then yes. So okay, so many people have written nice things to you. Yes, Pranoti is saying walk the talk. So any parting statement today, Doc, again to your juniors, because that's the major area we are being catering to. We are catering to, because you know nowadays dermatology is the within thing right now. Everyone out there is trying to go or trying to land up in a dermat branch. So what would you tell them today if any juniors are trying to take this branch?
Many of them take dermat, even for that matter, even I took dermat as glamour field only because that glamour was there somewhere deep in me.
Hmm.
But believe me, along with glamour, there is pure dermatology, which is the core thing. Because in this world of glamour, there are any Tom, Dick, and Harry who's coming and treating with lasers with not having the basic knowledge of dermatology. And that's how
True.
lasers are, taking a bad name. And one complication for somebody in life can really spoil somebody's life. Imagine if your skin is burnt because of a laser. So don't do that. So,
Don't.
my whole thing would be to the juniors is learn dermatology with passion. And then, yes, you build up glamour. Glamour is one part, dermatology is one part. If you can balance that like a cycle on both the wheels, believe me, you will be the best possible cosmetic dermatologist. You will give a 360-degree change. You will give a greatest makeover to people. But you need to have passion, and you need to have a human touch, and you need to have a knowledge.
Correct. So coming back to Doctor, today is my 20th day of a career series. And I had been talking about all these points. And one of the important aspect which I love the most as a career counselor is shadowing. So I would love a 12th standard kid or a MBBS second or third year person to observe you, to shadow you, and then take a call, because you will show them both sides of the coin. You show them glamorous side as well as the other side. So they have to choose now whether they can work with all this possibility, then it will be the great thing for them. And therefore I always say that shadow a person before taking a choice, before taking any choice for any faculty, for any stream, whichever you choose to. So it was nice talking to you, doctor, and all the best for your future, and to the humankind and to women especially, because motto of Dr. Smita is सुंदर मी आहेच नव्हे सुंदर मी आहेच. होणार नाही आहे.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Manjusha, for giving me this beautiful platform to share with the youngsters and to the women fraternity. Thank you so much. I'm humbled to be on your platform and wishing you great success in your higher education. May God bless you, and may many more people be counseled with you and reach the pinnacle and serve the humanity. So the ultimate purpose of everybody is to serve the humanity.
True. Okay. So signing off for today from both of us.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
God bless.